All right, everybody, welcome back. We took a short break. I still have Danny Swole here, and I have Joe Logan. Do you like I'm sorry, Joe
Logue.
Lowe?
Logue.
Logue?
Yeah.
Why
It's
did they tell me it was Logan? I'm such a bad host. I should do better research. I'm sorry, Joe
hey,
Logue.
I've been called so many other things, so Logan's fine.
All right.
It's been Loogie, Logie, like
What did they call you in the military?
uh, let's see. They
Did you
call
have any
me
nicknames?
They call me Chang,
Chang.
and then the other one was Rogue from X Men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was gonna be my sergeant's bitch. In the
Okay.
guys, so.
Well, everybody, the whole purpose of this is that we're really trying to dive deep into mental health awareness and suicide awareness, and we sometimes forget that our military that's serving us, they're struggling the most at times, and the biggest thing here is I want to kind of reevaluate, the way we're handling our mental health and the way we're actually taking care of ourselves. I mean, starting with you, Joe, what do you really do as far as, I know we talked about THC in the last one, but is there any other things that you like to do besides the gym? Is there anything outside of this? Bike riding, going to the beach, spending time with the family? Like, what really helps your mental health when you're really struggling on some days?
My big thing is my kids. Like
Yeah,
ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a dad,
yeah.
and I'm blessed with two boys. I have an 8-year-old and a soon-to-be 7-year-old who is autistic. Um, he didn't speak for the longest time.
Yeah.
He was considered nonverbal. I was trying to learn sign language, and he just started speaking just 2 years ago.
Wow.
Like as a dad, it makes me just want to break down because I saw my kid not talking. I thought he
Yeah.
was gonna have all these struggles. Now he's talking. He won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
So, but like that is the biggest thing for me. Is like when I'm having bad days, it's almost like my kids know it,
Yeah.
and they will come up to me and hug me and just say like, "Yo, Dad, I love you. Like you're the fucking man."
Yeah.
And it's an 8-year-old. I don't care if my kid curses because he's not doing it at school. But when you hear your just little one come up to you and just say, "Yo, Dad, I fucking love you," like that. Dude,
It's
it just
rewarding in a lot of
it
different ways,
is.
man. That's what's up, dude. And Danny, do you have anything else that you really do when it comes to, helping your mental health and making you stay, straight on with it?
Yeah. My biggest thing is going to be quality of time. Besides, I get to the second thing, which is not as important, but it's funny. Quality time with people I love, whether it's spend times with my close friends, my girl, mostly just being around people. Like I don't mind being alone at all. I don't mind being in my apartment watching Netflix all weekend because that's pretty much what I do anyways. But when I sit there sometimes I'm like, man, like, and if I'm down, like I don't want to sit there by myself. I just get in my head more. So my best friend owns a nutrition store, Patrick Ayers Nutrition, and that man's been there for me through the hardest times of my life, and I'll
Yeah.
forever be grateful for him. So shout out to you, Patrick. But I sometimes just go to the store and I don't not to buy anything or do anything. I just sit there,
We'll shoot the shit.
and sometimes he's not even there. It's just the employees or my fellow friends or athletes that are there, and I we sometimes don't even talk about anything. Like they're making smoothies or they're restocking the shelves, and I'm just like being around people, and it just feels good because it's people that that love you,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even have to be verbal. You don't have to talk about anything. Like you could just be talking about the dumbest shit.
Just the energy.
And it's just I always say like I'm always thankful for those moments. Like I could just be sitting there watching an anime show with my friend Gio or Zay or my girl watching some cheesy Hallmark movie which I fucking hate, and I'll be just be making fun
Right.
of the acting the whole time. I'm like, this is terrible. Like
This is awful.
oh my god, look, he's gonna propose in front of a Christmas tree. Oh look, it's happening. Like that's so fucking lame. But I'll watch it and it's just like the moment when I look back at that whole moment of that happening, it's like wow, that's fun. Because we're going back and forth, just human interaction and just positive vibes. Like always makes me feel better. It's so fucking simple, but that quality of time, just with again people that you truly love, is
Yeah.
for me important. And the second thing, it's gonna be I'll be straight with you, pizza, and like food.
Hey, man.
I love food. Like dude, I will drive like sometimes just like I'll have these random cravings for like the randomest stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like a huge pizza guy. I'm from Jamaica, Queens, in New York, so I love good pizza. So like going to different spots and just finding
We're
like
definitely
good,
gonna do a vlog on
oh
pizza.
my god, dude.
Because I'm getting into food blogging now, so we're gonna have you
Ooh.
when we do. We're doing a full day of like food vlogs
Oh,
now.
that's great.
So it's gonna be a gym session.
That's great.
Then we're gonna grab food after, but we're gonna do
Absolutely.
food reviews. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It's gonna
Absolutely.
be amazing, guys.
So just doing that, and then
Next time we do this, we're gonna bring a big pizza. It's gonna be great.
100%.
I was gonna say we're gonna need more than one.
Wave it in front of your face.
No.
It's like he needs
100%.
one for himself.
No, yeah. I love pizza. I can't say it enough. No, but going out food again, whether it's by myself with a friend or my girl, it doesn't matter. Just like finding new spots, especially in Jersey. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of people shit on Jersey, but there's like stuff. Like,
There's so much stuff in
There's
Jersey.
so
bro.
much stuff
Oh my
here.
god, and there's so many amazing gyms in Jersey that nobody knows about. And I'm starting a series actually.
Yeah.
I went to do 10 gyms in 10 days and review in New Jersey, like do gym reviews. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And again, people are gonna listen to the opinions of him when they're like, "Yo, this is a great gym. They take care of the gym. The machines are here. Look at my big biceps." It's
Right.
just, you know what I mean? It's just doing reviews like that. I love making content.
Yeah, I will say too, like you say, like the gyms in Jersey. That's one big thing with when I've traveled the world and stuff, and I've been to different states with the Air Force, just going to different gyms.
Yeah.
And the Northeast, like hotspot is a hotspot for fitness and bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And Jersey itself, the gyms in Jersey, just alone in the state, you can't find in others at all.
No.
Like just even the size of them, that's the types of equipment.
Yeah.
You know, granted, yes, you have Crunch Fitnesses, LA Fitnesses, commercial gyms, and I'm not knocking those.
No.
Those are great when you need a workout in and you don't have like a hardcore environment. But some of these gyms here,
But the atmosphere also.
it's the vibe. Like you go in there, like yes, like I want good machines, but it's just the vibe, the atmosphere. And now, if fitness is booming, a lot of these people are building amazing gyms. I know Tony Fusion Gyms is doing some awesome stuff right now. So
Yeah.
just stuff like that, where they're making these gyms appeal to the today's fitness society, and that's the part of adapting. Like it's no longer like that hardcore like old dungeon type vibe
Yeah.
like in the 90s, which I love those gyms. I still do love training at them.
That's my
However, you think an 18, 19,
Yeah,
20-year-old's going to want to go to that? Absolutely not. They want something that is going to be more kind of friendly to them, and that's what these gyms are catering. It's almost like you're walking into a mall sometimes. It's crazy.
Well, you
Well, I
gotta,
feel like-
you gotta
oh,
understand
yeah.
with like some women though, you know, some of them feel kind of intimidated at certain gyms where you're dropping weights and all that, and some of them are just there, just either they're there with a friend or like getting a serious workout in. And don't get me wrong, I know women that lift more than me and they put in more work in squats than I can, but like there are some of them that just want that comfortability of not seeing all that macho man shit at times. And again, it's not even like people do that all the time, but they're trying to adapt more to like, you know, both genders. It's not just like this is a male masculinity thing and you know women can't be here type stuff. They're trying to make it for everybody. And on top of that, you know, if you do have kids, you know, they're making it more kid friendly where you know you can have daycare, you can have stuff like that. And I think
Yep.
that's a big thing from like back in the day that they didn't have.
But we also need to make it okay to these 18, 19-year-olds that like, yo, these type of gyms are okay to come to. Just
Yeah.
they see guys, like I said, they see guys like Danny, and they're gonna see him working out, and they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
yo, this is just too much for me, or this guy just looks like a total asshole.
Yeah.
Like if we walk in there and like when I first started working, I was 90 pounds.
Yeah.
When I first walked into LA Fitness, I saw guys like Danny. I was like, I'm not gonna go near him. He's probably gonna tell me to get the fuck away from him.
Yeah.
Like, but when we
That's back in
open
the
up,
day stuff. It
but
definitely is.
there's still some people that are like
there are,
that.
but I'm saying
Like-
I feel you on that. When I was younger, like 14, I was at a powerlifting gym called the Islander down in Ocean City, New Jersey. There were dudes in there. If you were in front of them, they walked through you, and that macho man shit, it made you respect your elders. And I'll admit to you, I wasn't fucking around the gym. Now what I'm noticing now is it doesn't even matter if you're a big dude or not. Some of these kids that are TikTokers, just doing whatever the hell they want, they think they run the shit. And
Well,
that's
that-
like
that's
a totally
arrogance.
that's a
That's-
totally different like dynamic from when I was younger, man.
Yeah.
I
And
can't
that's-
stand it.
That what I'll say is with today's crowd, it's a different crowd, right? So what I always say is like adapting to it, but also still in stating like, hey, like I'm still here to train.
Yeah.
So when I go to gyms, like I have no problem with people who record videos. I can give a shit. I have my camera too. I make a couple clips here and there, but I don't
Yeah.
revolve my training around that. So that's the biggest thing I always talk when I talk to kids every single day at the gym, and they ask me for advice, and I'll tell them prioritize your training before your TikTok video or
Of
your
course.
thing. I was like, content will come. I was like, if you want
course.
to be substantial, you want to stand out with your physique because that's what you're working on, right, at the gym, then make your physique stand out, which comes from the training. And I'm like, I'm not discouraging you from recording a video, but if you're going to record every set and rest for 6 minutes at a time with 4 different people,
Or get
Oh,
mad if someone
yeah.
walks in front of your
Yeah, right.
angle.
there's no benefit to your workout. So I'll encourage you, yes, film it, man. Be proud of that shit. You got a nasty pump, film it, dude. Show it off. But train like an animal, and show the world that you can train and still make content. That's how I feel about it, because some of these gyms I go to, it's filled with that kind of crowd, and I adapt to it. I understand it, but I also go in there with the mindset of like, I'm gonna be like sweating my ass off and showing these kids that like I'm like shitting my pants essentially, my top set, and then I'll do a video of it and be like, oh wow, like, and they may have their opinions on whatever of it, but guess what? I'm doing the things that I need to be at the level of their idols, because their idols that they look up to in real life,
Yeah.
C-Bum, Classic Olympia guys, that's who their idols are.
Yeah.
And that's how I train. And I promise you, like, I want the world to know. It's like, in today's age, it's like everyone's almost an influencer now. Everyone
Yeah,
is that.
Of course.
But what's going to make you stand out? Besides, what's going to make you stand out of thousands of TikTokers, Instagram things with the same style of haircut,
Yeah.
same style of
That's
clothes?
the thing with you, man. I noticed that from the rip when I first met you. Because, again, I judge people very quickly.
Mhm.
And it's not even, it's just a defense mechanism.
Mhm.
And on top of that, the kill 'em with kindness thing, if I see someone that I feel does not like me in the gym, I'll go over and say hi to them immediately.
100%.
Because I made a New Year's resolution like 5 years ago. I'm like, because I wanted to beat the shit out of everybody in the gym that kept looking at me or whatever. And I'm like, you know what, that's such a bad mindset, because they could just be looking to admire my physique. They could like my haircut, my tattoo, anything. I said, I'm just judging. I said, I'm no better than them if they really don't like me. So I made a point to like, hey man, I'm like, you know, that's it, man. I said, your biceps are huge. Like, I would just compliment them. And again, it was all real facts, but I did it to break the ice. And then come to find out that they were just admiring how I was working out, that my vascularity and stuff. And one of my best friends that's on this podcast, Emilio, I met him 2 years ago, and I actually didn't like him. I looked at him. I was jealous of him because he was so cut up. He had no hair on his body. He was tan. He had the beach body look. I was like, this motherfucker looking as good as he does. God damn. I was mad, but like, I ended up talking to him. Very humble guy, and we ended up becoming best friends. And
Humble.
that's the thing. It came down to, I remember just looking at you, and I'm like, this dude has something else to him than these regular dudes, and that's truth. Like, your tattoos, the way you approach things, how you're able to be funny, and you actually have a sense of humor, man. It's just like, you're so different from all the other guys. I can't say, oh, he's trying to copy, you know, somebody. Like, I can't name anybody that you're like. And that's the authenticness that people need nowadays. And again, there's nothing wrong to idolize certain people, but when you go your own way, you're going into the dark. You know what I mean? And you don't know if you're going to fall down. You don't know if there's a trapdoor. You don't know. But I've noticed that you take your content and you just run with it. And whoever likes it, likes it. And that's the way you really have to be. I'm not going to adapt my content to people that really don't support me. I want to do what I believe in, and obviously dig deeper in that certain stuff that people comment on. Again, mental health is very big with me. And that's why I wanted to do this with you guys, because I feel that, you know, the military needs to hear this, and I feel like you guys probably have dealt with the same things I have. Obviously not being deployed or being in the military, but when I was in law enforcement, I had a lot of deep, dark demons I never dealt with. And within the last 2 years, I started taking on more of my mental health traits of, like, taking care of myself. Like, I just told Lexi, we go to the same spa place that's up in Southampton, PA. It's a sauna bathhouse. It's a Russian Turkish place, and I'll take you guys there one time. It's the best time of your life. But you're
Sounds
there
like a
for
date.
4 hours, man, for $55. Steam room, hot rooms, polar plunges,
It's amazing.
everything. It's literally one of the best places you'll ever be to. And I took 3 of my friends there yesterday, and my 2 buddies been going through a very hard time of a breakup. And I said, listen, man, just come here with me. We left there just so relaxed, everything. Amazing Russian food, too. You chill. We're just drinking water and like herbal tea the entire time, and just going in and out of the saunas. And it's amazing. And the regular saunas you go to are like 150 degrees. These saunas go up to 220, 230. And then the polar plunge is negative 10 degrees. So you jump in that after 220 degrees, you feel your
Sounds like
body
you're
and
going to
your
a
muscles,
shock.
man. Yeah, but if you hit the gym I go to is called Body Dynamics. It's 2 blocks away. It's an old school bodybuilding gym, and we'll do a YouTube vlog there one day. And they just have those clanging, banging weights and all those old school machines, and it's just a really unique place.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
gym owner takes care of the place. He always getting different machines for everybody. Go there for an hour, and then you go right over there, enjoy yourself. I do it every Friday night now. I literally have made a point. I'm not at the clubs anymore. I don't want to drink. I just want to take care of my mental health at the end of the week. And then Saturday, if I want to see my friends, loved ones, I'll do it. But I'm not really out to go clubbing and do all that weird shit. It's just
Yeah, I
not me
don't-
anymore. I'm done. But that's my approach to taking care of my mental health.
Yeah.
That or I like bike riding. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Bike riding down the shore, like being in like hot weather and bike riding is like the best thing to me. I'll do that all day.
I'd rather just sit on the beach, but
Yeah,
but
that's it,
talking
man.
about being humble though, I do just want to like just put it out to like everyone, like the guys that are like taking the videos of like doing those max PRs or just showing it off, which you should, like, you fucking earned it, show it off, but always remember to be humble,
Yeah.
because those people that are watching you just be like, yo, you like when I work out with my gas mask on, I have a hoodie on, like I don't have any
I remember. I
anything
used to see
showing.
you do it. Yeah.
But and I talk to other people. I'm like, yo, you guys can do this too. Like,
Yeah.
I just always encourage other people. Like, I'm not just like, oh yeah, look at me, look at me. Like,
Yeah.
I like to record myself now and then, but I'm telling like the other guy next to me that is only like 110 pounds, like, dude, you can get up to here.
Yeah.
You just gotta work. You just gotta work for it, man. Like,
And that's the thing for this platform is to let people know it's possible. You know what I mean? Danny is an action figure in real life. But again, the amount of kids that look up to him, man, I always think about it because I was neglected as a child. You know, I was abused and my parents were addicts. So I used to look at bigger dudes and always be like, I wish that dude would beat the shit out of my stepfather or beats my mother. Like I was a little kid. And you never know what these kids are going through. You know what I mean? How they look at Danny. Is it because they want to look like him one day? Is it because they feel safe around him? It's just like, or they there's younger kids that'll say, he looks like Captain America. He looks like an action figure. I mean, there's so many things that you have to stay humble about and not just be like, oh, I have big muscles and that's just it. Like, you're supplying a message to certain people. You're giving hope. And that's the thing. There's some kids that need hope. And there's some people, you don't know what they're struggling with every day. I've had people tell me, they're like, dude, you got me through it with some of your motivational speaks. And that to me was very rewarding. I don't care about going viral. It'd be nice to go viral to help people out with motivational talk. But in reality, it's just like if I can have somebody come up to me and say, it's like we were talking earlier, you're like, if you can help one person, that's very rewarding. You know what I mean? And that to me is something that I strive for every day. Is, the struggles I've gone through, even though I'm embarrassed at times, I'd rather explain them because the times I've explained stuff, I've had people reach out like, dude, thank you so much for explaining this because people don't understand this, and they just go and tell me their story. And that's another thing about being humble. You have these dudes that do go viral, have thousands of DMs and comments, and they just dick those comments. They don't even care. They don't answer them, and they don't respond unless it's another influencer because they're like, oh, this could be a nice collab.
right.
Dude, it doesn't matter how big or small the person is. If they're DMing you saying, thanking you for doing this and that, you have no idea what you could have saved their life. And that's the biggest thing, man. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. Remain humble and remain telling these people, keep going, keep doing this, because that's your message. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm sure you've had plenty of them, Danny, from a lot of people.
Yeah, I just will touch on that real quick. I think so. It's always nice having these conversations with people in person. Motivating them and how people come up to me like, oh, I look up to you. You're inspiring, and that feels amazing and it's awesome, right? One thing I try to do, and I try to encourage other people that are, growing on social media that have followings, that people look up to is interact with these people online. A lot of these people will never meet you, but your fan base can grow to millions just because of how social media is nowadays.
Yeah. So
So what I personally do, and I do this, I try to do this every 2 days, is go through my requests and DMs and stuff.
yeah,
And sometimes it's like low, sometimes it's high, depending if my posts are hitting or not. But sometimes I'll have like a solid like 50 messages backed up, and it's usually like, hey man, I know you never see this. Hey man, I know you never see this. Something like that. And I'll open it, and what I like to do is, again, I go to the person's profile if it's public or whatever, and I see, or if they look at their bio, what they like. I'm like, hey Adam, hey Mike, whatever. I appreciate the message. Thank you for reaching out for the positive vibes. And I'll send them that message if it's private. Sometimes if I have the time, what I like to do also, if they're asking a question within that DM, like, hey man, just want to let you know, like, you're inspiring, just like, and they ask me a general question, like, what do you think of this? I'll send a video back in my car driving, like, hey man, what's up, bro? And it's like some kid with like 100 followers, like, to a lot of people would look at it as like a nobody.
yeah,
But you give him that time of day where it's personal, like, hey Mike, what's up, dude? Like, this is, and then talk a little bit.
yeah.
That feeling for them, you don't know how it's going to impact them.
That could have made their day.
That could have
man.
made their day. Could have made their week. And a lot of these times, these messages that I get, they're on the mental health side.
Yeah.
It's guys like, hey man, I'm just going through some stuff. Can we talk? I've had phone calls. I've had video chats, FaceTimes with like random strangers, and I had one like 2 weeks ago from Jordan. I had another guy at Ramstein, which is an Air Force base, or location in Germany, which Air Force base. Just going through some stuff, and we just talked through Instagram. Never thought I would even see my message, and I got to interact with him and help him in a way. It's just like, that's so cool, and
Yeah.
you have no clue how that little bit of like time you give that person goes.
Yeah.
And it's not just, and again, it's not just interacting with the other collaborators on Instagram or TikTok or comments. I go through my comments sometimes, and I'll go in heart. It takes a good 30 minutes sometimes of my day, but I'll respond to like these people that people wouldn't give the time of day to.
And we appreciate it, by the way, like being on the other side, like from a guy that I just use Instagram as like my photo album for my family. So like every now and then, like I'll reach out to like my idols like Dorian Yates. I know that motherfucker's never gonna reach out right now, but for like I said, when people reach out to you and you, because you have like that that check mark or that little blue thing, so when you reach out back to somebody, they're like, this guy's literally taking the time out of his life. He has thousands and thousands of followers, but you're still like, that means a whole fucking lot.
There's different priorities to certain
Literally.
people, and that's the thing is that it's so to me. Maybe because I'm in the fitness industry and I deal with celebrity people like filming and stuff. It's like it's really nice to see them off camera and actually see for who they are. And some of them have disappointed me a lot, to be honest, where they put this fake persona on and they don't even give a fuck. So like that's the one thing is when you see authenticness, it really, you know what I mean? It's just, and again, I've been trying to do this with Danny for a minute because I don't believe his shit was garbage. I didn't think it was for views and likes. I think it was for an important message, and that's why I thought this was an important podcast. I want to team up with people that really do generally. It doesn't care about fame. We don't care about making money off it. We care about really putting a message out there, and that's the biggest thing I want to put to people is that people need help out there, man, and they don't have it. When they see that they have access like this, and they see that there's people out here struggling like they are, they're humanizing themselves. They're like, wow, these guys are, they're up there. But they have their own issues. It's like, I'm not here to be perfect. That's the one thing I think I tried my whole life was to like act like I was perfect and had no problems, but yet that was just making my problems worse. I was hiding, and I'm not ashamed of it. It is what it is. Things happen. You can't control how you grow up with the situations you've been in, but the one thing you can control is you can overcome it, and you can explain how you overcome it to people. And that's the harsh reality of things. People try to hide what they've been through instead of really explaining what they've been through to help others. And even it's really awesome to even hear you guys what you're talking about because I've only known you guys from seeing in the gym, and to dig deeper into what you guys really stand for, it's amazing to me. And this is just so important all around, and I hope that people watching this actually know like this is a very serious thing that we want to continue doing, whether once a month, twice a month, and just see where the traction takes off because mental health is a very big thing all the time. It's not just partial, it's all the time. You need to always be on top. And I really appreciate you guys for doing this because it's hard to get people to be genuine nowadays and authentic. And we're coming together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This is great energy, man.
The more people that are that can hear, whether it's a bodybuilder or someone that's may seem bigger to them,
Yeah.
talk about vulnerability.
Yeah.
And just being okay
Taking
with
masculinity out of it, dude.
and just being okay to be exposed a little bit, like, and they might not even say anything to us about this podcast, but to them,
Yeah.
it help. Like that's the whole goal. Is we don't need a reaction, a like or comment, like, oh, you helped me. It's that feeling of someone viewing it.
Yeah.
That we know is gonna happen. It doesn't have to be said. There's people out there, thousands of people that watch. There's thousands of people that watch my stuff. There's thousands of people that watch all these other people's stuff that never will comment on one thing, but your message helps them. You will never know that, but all you can do is hope that it impacts someone positively.
The impact is everything, and like I said in the beginning of the episode, is that life's about making an impact, not an income. You know what I mean? You can have all the money in the world and still be unhappy and still have your mental health jacked up. And this is just an important message that really sticks out to me that I've been trying to do for such a long time. And for us to come together and actually agree on something and all be serious about it and genuine, it's a very important thing that a lot of people don't do. And there's a lot of humbleness to opening up. You guys sharing, your stories to me, that's very important. But on top of that, explaining that, you don't have to be a big macho man. We have an action figure in front of us. We have an Avenger in front of us all the way.
Literally.
And again, it's just, he's not scared to tell you what he's been through and how this has happened. And, to It's an amazing concept, man. It really is. And you, again, we don't know who we're helping. It could be one person, could be 1,000. But the thing is that the impact is like what keeps us going.
And don't be afraid. I just want to say, like, don't be afraid to like just reach out to your friend and be that awkward person. It's just like,
Yeah.
hey, how's it going? Like, how's your day?
Yeah.
Like, I do it to a lot of my friends, and they're just like, that was really random. Like, I just want to see how your day's going, bro. Like,
Yeah.
just trying to make conversation because like you just said, you never know what's going on that other person's side. That
No.
person could be getting ready to, to end
Yeah,
their life.
you never
and
know.
literally, you're just saying like, how's it going?
Yeah.
I've already paused what you were about to do because now you're going to answer me. Like, we're going to
Yeah.
talk, and who knows what will happen from there.
That's another thing when you brought up earlier about just drinking. You know, there's certain people that go home every night and they have nobody to talk to and they just drink themselves. And again, in a way, it's helping them because they're forgetting about what's really bothering them. But they wake up the next day and it's just the same feeling.
Because they don't want to get judged. They're
Yeah.
afraid to be judged.
Of course, you want to remain perfect. And that's what I think that's the biggest concept with social media that I hate is that everything's perfect on social media. You know what I mean? You see all these influencers, you see all these people making moves, and the thing is, I think I forget who it was, but there was a guy that did a lot of PRs, but he put down like his PRs that he didn't do. You know what I mean? Like they were awful mistakes, and he's like, listen, it happens. It's another day. I don't always get a PR. I don't always do crazy lifts. He's like, sometimes I don't get them, but I'm not ashamed to post the PRs that I don't make.
And people are always going to judge you no matter what.
Of course.
I realize that, like, I always tell, like, my story of that I was blown up on purpose the second time by my lieutenant. And I got 3 herniated discs from it. I've had to get surgery done. Like, I look okay. And that's
Yeah.
what I get told all the time is, oh, you look fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, I literally have pain going down my ass, into my legs, into my calf.
Yeah.
It's constant. I can't bend certain ways. I can't do certain lifts. Like, the reason I work out is because I don't want to look like, I don't want that sympathy of like, oh man, you're hurt, or like you're one of those hurt vets.
Keep it moving, yeah.
But I already know I get judged. Like I have, for instance, I have a handicap plate,
Yeah.
and I do park in a handicap spot, and people judge me.
Yeah.
But I just kind of shrug it off, and it's hard.
So easy to
but
judge, man. That's the easiest thing that people do is judge, and that's the thing. Until you tell them what really happened, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But again, why are you judging me to begin with? There's an obvious reason. And again, I get it. There's some people that take advantage of a handicap spot, and I've been upset at people like that until you really see that the handicap spot was a guy pulling up to go pick someone up in a wheelchair to bring them out. You know what I mean? It's just like you always need to think it through before you're actually passing judgment, and a lot of people do that so much.
There's
It's
always
ridiculous.
a story.
There's always a
behind
story behind
everything.
everything, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You always, and again, it's like not everything's going to be positive. I put up a podcast regarding an athlete that I worked with that tried destroying my career because he was mad about some shit, and he's a popular guy in Olympia right now. He used to come to this gym, and I got some positive feedback where people were DMing me saying thank you for telling your story about suicide and this all that. I can't believe this is what really happened. And I had other people saying, why didn't you just kill yourself? Like, comment. And again, there were trolls. There were
Right.
people that had no profile pics, but you got to take the good with the bad. But it was just funny having people say, oh, you're just trying to get fame by mentioning this. I said, no, I'm really trying to let people know that, the fitness industry is a great industry of poor quality people. It's the way it is. Some of them, and again, there's a lot of drugs in the sport where people aren't mentally there and they're taking more and more drugs. They're making them crazy, the pressure, everything. I said, and there's just so much that goes on that people don't know about. And that's bringing light to certain issues in the fitness industry. And the thing is, like you said, it's just going to be so many people that hate you, not even knowing you, or they're just going to judge a situation until they get to know you. So, me, it's embarrassing to say some of the stuff you don't want to admit to, but at the same time, there will be people that respect you and support you. And those are the people that I support back. And even the people that don't at first support me and then they come around, they're still valuable too. They just haven't come around yet to understanding or being humble themselves.
Yeah.
There's people that are just going to hate you for existing.
Of course.
How I say this again, this is one thing I say pretty much weekly to people, because people judge me sheerly off of what I look like.
Of
Trust me,
course.
I wake up every morning and I piss and I look at myself. I'm like, damn, I'm still ugly. So I know what I look like.
But
So-
you got big muscles.
But I mean, like, yeah, at least my biceps are 21 inches, right? No, but I always tell us, I'm like, listen, man, people can knock my exterior shell. They could be like, your delts are too much, your quads, this,
Yeah.
your back. They can knock all that stuff, and I'm okay with that. But please try to knock my heart and my intellect. Tell me one bad thing about it, please.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that you can't. Because even when you do knock my exterior, I will come back with you to you and tell you something kind. And
Yeah.
that will show you my heart and my intellect. So when people say something about your exterior shell, that's probably insecure. It's something that they're upset about. But once I guarantee you, talk to that person for 5 minutes. Then I guarantee you their gears will start spinning and be like, wow. They'll either take it back or say, like, you know what, man, you're right.
They reconsider.
But however, I say this, it's not our jobs as humans to go and make people like us. So if people go out and they're like thumbs up, great. If thumbs down, cool. I always tell this also. You go into a bar, a gym, anywhere in the summer and you're a bodybuilder, 50% of that place will talk shit on you. 50% will be
Yes.
like, you look great. Well, guess what? 100% of that place is talking about you. So how can you be upset?
Of course.
And that 50% that's
Wow.
negative, that 50% that's negative, if they were to talk to you for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and you know you're humble, kind, and good-hearted,
Of course.
they'll be your friend. So you'd
Of course.
gain their friendship. But it's not your job to make that friendship.
No.
So it's that's their decision. All we can do is be true to ourselves and own who we are.
Of course.
So that's why I'm never ashamed to go to a beach bar in a tank and shorts. No, I'm proud of who I am.
Yeah.
And the people that can see past the exterior shell, which does take a lot,
Yeah.
I'll be great friends with. And
Of
the other
course.
crowd, that's fine. Stay in your corner and talk shit.
Yeah.
But once you get past that and maybe come up to me and just accidentally have a conversation, like, oh wow, dude, you're a nice guy. Yeah, man, let's have a drink.
But that's the thing. It's just like people will look at you. It's just like when I was about 20 pounds heavier and in better shape, I'd have people. I go to Ocean State, Maryland, in secrets. They come up to me and be like, "Dude, what are you on? What? Holy crap, dude! How many days of work? How much chicken you eat? Like all this other stuff." And like, they don't mean anything by it. They're just like, "Yo, like you look amazing. Like I want to know
Yeah.
your secret type shit." And it's always funny. Like if you admit to anything else more than that, they're like, "Oh, well, you only look this way because you take this or that." You know what I mean? It's like they need that justification to make themselves feel better.
Feel better, yeah.
Like, oh, I don't look like that. You know what I mean? Like they look like shit, but then they find out that you're doing more stuff. And again, you're eating 5-6 meals a day. You're working out 3 hours a day. It's nothing more than that. Like there might be other supplements, whatever, but they're trying to like
They're
justify.
still putting in the work.
They're trying to
that-
justify that you are this way for something else, and that's what I've never felt. After a while, I had to stop getting mad at people that were just like judging off of that. You know what I mean? Like they inside themselves are insecure, so they need to find out why you look the way you do, how you do it. Like, oh, you work out 3 hours a day, you eat 5. Man, I could never do that. I got a life. All right, man.
Well, that's your choice.
Then why are
dude.
you mad, man? You want to stay the way you are, then stay the way you are. It's the way I said. You're over there. You're drinking like 5-6 beers at a time. I said, bro, I've been sipping on a vodka tonic for about 2 hours. I said, I don't really drink to begin with, but at the same time, think about what you're putting in your body, man.
When I also see people like shaming, like, oh, that dude's fat or that dude's skinny, and I'm like, okay,
It's all about the
just-
dad bods.
But I'm like,
Bro.
and I ask because I've heard these conversations. I'm like, does that trigger you? Does that upset you that he's fat, or does it? I'm like, what if that dude's fat and happy as hell, or what if that dude's skinny and happy as hell? That skinny dude may be a millionaire. That fat dude may have stocks and be rich out. Like you have no clue. But if they're happy, why does that concern you? Because again, I know you're looking at it. That's the judgment aspect. I get that. But now you're voicing it to a crowd of people.
Yeah.
You look stupid. You're calling him out for being whatever he is. And trust me, I only say this because I get on the muscular aspect. So when I see it
Yeah.
in a fat or skinny shape, I'm like, okay, and your point? Like, what is the point of you saying that? Like, are you upset? There's something going on in your life to
Yeah.
now shame him for being fat?
It's weird, man.
It's crazy.
It's a very weird
it's
thing.
all different body types, and it's just like, that's why for me, the physical aspect for me, it's like just being in this industry now. I don't like I look at things, but I never will ever like form a pure, genuine judgment until 5 minutes into a combo.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
That was my thing, is that I had to start being hard on myself. I said, I'm not going to judge this person until I get to know them. Even if I've heard stuff about them, I'm like, you know what? That's from somebody else. It's not from me.
Yep.
I interpret things way differently than other people. But as far as like the body shaming goes, I used to body shame myself, and until recently in the last year, I have extreme body hair. Looks like I have a sweater on when I take my shirt off. But I used to be ashamed of it. I would never leave the house unless every hair was off my body. And until the past year, I literally just started embracing it, and I started feeling so much better in my own skin, because I've had people say, oh my God, you have that much hair. Like, they would make me feel very insecure. But then I started thinking, I'm like, I don't really care the way I feel great. And I said, on top of that, I don't want to have to always shave or hide my body. Like, it was a very big self-confidence thing. And like the bathhouse I go to, I walk around and they think I have a sweater on, but like they respect me for it. Like the Russians are awesome to me. They call me the Russian bear. It's hilarious. They call me the Russian bear there. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
And I got a nice little captain hat I wear in the sauna. Dude, like no joke. I wore it last night. And I was like, everybody, I said, yeah, I'm in my sweater right now. And this sweater's never out of season.
That's so
Yeah.
That's my run.
That's so sick, dude. Bro.
It's a really big hat, Lex.
I
Lex,
see
look.
it.
Yeah.
Oh
You
my
see it on the
God,
camera?
yeah.
I said, this sweater's never out of season, everybody.
I love it.
But again, like, to shame somebody on the way they look, it just, and again, like, I always used to think, like, I need to get a beautiful girl, and I have to be in shape, I gotta be this, gotta be that, and, like, I've had girls tell me, they're like, I like your body hair, like, I like to touch your chest hair, or they're like, I like a little bit more on your stomach, I don't like it when you're, like, cut up. You know what I mean? So, like, I always had that sting, I had to find a girl, like, I had to be in this type of shape, I had to look this certain way to find, like, my wife one day. When I've seen dudes that are like literally have a beer belly and they're with the hottest girl
Yeah.
and they're so happy.
That body dysmorphia, man.
And that
It's real.
I finally got over that because I was like, you know what? The right person that sees me for who I am, they're gonna love me no matter what, and that's the truth.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing, man. When people have, you know, they're shaming themselves because they're out of shape. You know what I mean? And you probably have it before where you're talking probably mid conversation with people, Danny, and they're like, God, I wish I just lost a little bit of weight. I wish, and again, you gotta like encourage them, be like, no, man, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, like it's all about consistency, man. Do this, do that, and you kind of give them a little bit of tips on what they have to do, and if they choose to do it, they do. But it's like I don't want to ever be that. I don't want to be that way where I look so good and people start shaming themselves in front of me. I never like that. Like, oh, if I could do that, man, I wish I could. You know, I gotta get off this body fat, this and that. I'm like, nah, man, listen. It's all consistency, man. You'll get there one day. It just depends on how bad you want it.
I also tell people, and they're like, they look at me like, full pump. I'm like, I look crazy. I know, like, I have a great pump going. I'm like, I look the best that I have that day, and I'm just like, and people are like, I wish, like, it's crazy, you know, you look like that or whatever. And I'm like, I'd never look like that. I'm like, well, understand, like, do you want to competitively bodybuild? Do you want to be at this level? Like,
Yeah.
because guess what? Like, yes, it takes a lot, like, as far as everything goes, but at the end of the day, like, is it something that you want? Like, do you want to put your body through that? Like,
Yeah.
again, like, if you're happy with yourself, like, no one's saying you have to look like me.
No.
And people sometimes like, oh, I want to go to the gym, but I don't want to look like you. I'm like, listen, bro, the whole reason I do my social media is not for you to want to look like me.
Yeah.
It's to give you the energy and love I have for the gym and incorporate it into your own fucking
Of
life.
course.
And it doesn't have to be the gym. So I
Yeah.
use bodybuilding because I love the gym. I love the gym and what it gives me, right? And that's my thing. So I love it so much, and I put so much passion and joy into it, and I try to show the world, hey, Danny loves this so much. It helps him mentally and everything that he does. So take that energy and put it into your chest night, your wine and cheese night, your charcuterie.
Yeah.
I didn't know charcuterie or I'm trying to fucking pronounce it. Whatever fucking board night.
Yeah.
And put it into that. I'm like, because guess what? This is what I excel at. However, it doesn't have to be what you excel at.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because to me, that's where people compare themselves to you.
Yeah.
And they get down. I'm like, dude, don't get down, bro. I'm like, if you want to look at this, okay, maybe it's gonna take a couple more years or whatever it is. However, it doesn't mean you have to look like me.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy. Like, if you want to go to C-bum level, then guess what? It's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
But however, not like in today's age, it's like you see the fitness industry, everyone wants to look like CBum, but majority of these gym goers will never look like it. And
Yeah.
that's just a fact. It's not a if, it is. And that's part of the toxic thing of the younger kids. It's like when they knock like a bodybuilder in their gym,
Yeah.
which I hear every day I go to, I get some type of comment. I'm like, you're knocking me at your local gym,
Yeah.
right? And you're saying whatever negative things, and then you're going home and writing daddy and thumbs up CBum all your idols.
Of course.
I'm like, mentally, how does that make sense to you? I was like, I'm not a professional. I'm not an IFBB pro. I'm not a professional coach. I don't know everything, and I never claimed to. However, you're gonna knock me for just looking the way I do, and then going home and because your idols are famous, have millions of followers. It's crazy. It's mentally. It's mentally a little.
It's mentally draining a little bit.
It's draining. I'm
Yeah.
like, listen, bro. I'm not here to make you feel small or make you feel because I'm bigger. I'm here to inspire and motivate you. But don't crap on me just because I'm bigger than you or just because you think I'm only big because this. I'm like, dude, listen. Would you say that if your idol walked through the door? I asked them. I said, I know I'm a nobody to you, but if CBum walked through the door, would you say the same stuff to him, or Nick Walker, or Ramy, or any of these people? Would you say these things to them, or would you sit there and ask them hours long end to take a picture with them?
But that's the problem. It's all about status on social media
Oh,
in this
yeah.
generation. And the thing
100%.
is that again, this I talked to video before about Nick Walker. We're not on the best terms as friends anymore,
Yeah.
but Nick's a good dude, and he was shitted on a lot. I
Mhm.
remember he would tell me he was shitted on by a lot of people, and he had a really good ability of ignoring people's negative comments. I used to see them, and he had a really good way of just knocking the stuff out. And I used to love that about him because it takes a strong person to do that. But it's just so funny is that they will hate you all they want. Nick Trigilli, friend of mine, love that dude. He trashed Nick a couple times in some videos years ago, talking about his waist, all this other stuff. Now he's talking amazing about him. He looks the best he ever looked, and great. It's like right now you have to go through these demons. You have to go through the darkness, and it's just funny is like you get so used to doing that when you finally make it and you're all the way up there like C-Bomb and all those people, you're just like you just think back about all the people that doubted you. You just think back about all the hatred and all that stuff, and then as soon as you get a blue tick, as soon as you actually get on the Olympia stage, or you get to 3 million followers, now you're that awesome dude. And
Yeah.
I don't agree with it,
Yeah.
and that's what you see, man. And that's the thing. Nick went from being hated with a lot of stuff, being talked trash, and then he gets to Olympia and he proves everybody wrong. And that's the biggest motivation there,
Yeah.
is keep your shit moving, ignore what people are saying, motivate as many people as you can, stay
Mhm.
humble, believe in yourself, and just always remember is that you will get there one day.
Yeah.
But there's going to be people that are going to try and knock you down. That's just God giving you extra obstacles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be strong, God's going to throw some obstacles in front of you, man. And that's it. Because again, He's building you stronger. That's exactly what it is. Hearing all this hatred, hearing all this shit. And again, you have a really good way of doing it, man. You positive reinforcement. You know what I mean?
And I think the bigger you get social media, whether you're at the millions of followers level, whatever, the coolest thing to see. And like honestly, like I say C-Bum a lot because like I've looked up to him since I was like 18 years old, before he was competing in bodybuilding Canada.
Yeah.
Like, at the level he's at, like he made a 10-minute video just talking in his car about his bicep tear, and it felt like I was watching a video of Christopher. It wasn't like I was watching C-Bum. It
Yeah.
was listening to him talk about his emotions.
Yeah.
And like just raw. Just glimpses of that is what I love to see, because it shows past the professional photos, the professionally shot videos. It just shows a human that is Christopher Bumstead, or whoever the name is, being a person in a car talking about how he feels. And that's why
Yeah.
I talk about this stuff, because like I idolize these people, but I'm still myself through it.
Yeah.
But people are like, who do you want to be like? I'm like, I don't want to be like anyone. I idolize people, but I want to be Danny. I want to be the best
Yeah.
Danny today and a better one tomorrow. And they're just like, well, that's different. I'm like, I've never told myself, oh, I want to be this person. No, why would you want to be that person? You want to have the same calf size, the same bicep measurement, the same intellect? No, absolutely not. Idolize them, use them for motivation, but
Yeah.
create something that's maybe equivalent or better.
And be safe about it. Like these
Yeah.
people that are like idolizing like these bodybuilders, like we all know that they take extra supplements, but they go to their doctor. Do
Yeah.
not be afraid. Like if you're going to go to that next level, please go to your doctor, get your blood levels checked, get your testosterone checked,
Yeah.
and ask him like, is this like how can I do this safely?
Yep.
And
Like
that's
a lot of people
another
just
thing,
go
man.
on fucking you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah, no,
a lot
go
of people
ahead.
just go on YouTube, go on Google, and then they just see whatever the first thing they see, and then they just start
And-
putting whatever the fuck in their body.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the
And
problem.
people are dying from that.
And that's the problem. And younger kids are ending up with heart issues. They're ending up with ED, where their dick's not working. So there's so many things that go on. And that's another topic that I want to bring up with a lot of people in another podcast. Is that you see they're like, oh, research Chris Bumstead's cycle, whatever. And again, that's not going to be up anywhere. You know
Right.
what I mean? But people see it, someone that posted it, and say, oh, he's running 1,000 this, 1,000 that, and it's just like they're like, oh, I'm gonna take this to look just like him. It's like, no, dude, this is over years of time working your way up, eating, cold plunges, all this stuff, man. There's so much that goes into it, and it's like I was telling you, man, when I was saying earlier, I want to do a YouTube blog on, educating kids on gun safety. I think that's a very big thing. It's the same thing when it comes to PEDs, man. It's like these kids have no idea what they're putting in their body, and again, it's rapidly happening at gyms, like
And it will
regular
fuck with
gyms.
your mental health too. Is
Yes.
the other thing. Like
And
it
that
really
makes you depressed. And that's another thing. You see a lot of kids that commit suicide that can't get to Chris Bumstead's level, or they have gyno. There's all this crazy stuff happening in their body that they don't know what's going on. It's the drugs doing it to them, and that's a very big, serious topic in the world today. You know what I mean? They all want to have that edge and look like this, but educate yourself, learn. Wait till you're a certain age to start it. I started at a very young age doing PEDs, and I shouldn't have done it. To be honest with you, it messed my mental health up. I had a girlfriend in high school that I drove crazy because I was mentally going through shit, man. And I think a lot of bodybuilders and people in the fitness industry can agree to that they put their significant others through a lot of shit. And it's not even because they wanted to, it's because their body's going through so many Olympics and so much stuff that shouldn't be going on. And they don't know, they're chasing after this dream, but they're trying to overdo it to the point where they get there in a year versus 10 years.
Right.
And I get it. This generation is the here and now. I have a headache. Oh, I take a pill for that. Oh, I want bigger lips. I get lip injections. Oh, I want fat taken off. I get it sucked. It's just like if you want something done, you can pay to get it done faster, and that's what's so wrong with this country.
It's I believe with the younger generation, it's not just the physique side, it's the attention side of everything. Like you said, pill wise, you would take everything magic pill and get
Yeah,
huge,
of course.
or but everyone wants instant gratification. And that's the big social media thing. It's just like people are so spun up on getting famous on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, and it's just like that's what their world revolves around. It's almost like, who are you? Like, are you revolving everything you're doing in a gym and out with your friends around a Snapchat or TikTok? I'm like, you're gonna look back 5 years from now and like think about those moments and like, oh, I was recording it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you, I've had moments and I had to like kind of chill out because I was like, I'm recording too much, or I'm like out at this, I'm in Greece, I'm in Italy, and I'm on my phone. I'm like recording the video of a castle or this. I'm like,
And
I'm
not
not,
enjoying
I'm
Not
not
living the moment.
I'm not living the moment, because to the world it's like, wow, that's so cool. And I think about it, I was like, yeah, it was really cool filming it on my phone. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
You were there.
I was like, I was there.
Yeah.
And I that's why like I try to sometimes sit back and just kind of breathe the air and fresh air of wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. And yeah, sure, I'll record a clip, but most importantly, be in that moment and like live it.
Live
'Cause,
the
like,
moment,
you'll
man.
never know when you'll
Yeah.
be back there.
You never know when you're gonna be back there, and you never know when life's gonna end either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. I love traveling. I love travel vlogs, and I found myself doing the same thing. So I try to prioritize my day with content where, hey, first 3 hours of the day, I'm getting my cardio in. I'm doing a nice bike ride. I'm doing this. Get me all squared away for the day, and then I start filming. Or if I'm on a vacation for 5 days, the first and last day will be content days. It's something like that, and you got to schedule it out. You can't always just content. Again, content's king to me. I love making it, but you need your mental health there, where you need to enjoy the moment, and just take a step back and just realize, hey, you're really getting to where you want to be. Relax right now. You kind of almost have to pep talk yourself and just realize, because again, if you're in a relationship too, you got to remember your significant other. You don't want to be like you know what I mean? You don't want to be filming and avoiding them when that's your moment, that's your happy time. You know what I mean?
Right.
You guys both work, you're both at the gym, you don't get to see each other enough. Appreciate family time, appreciate your loved ones. And that's something a lot of people don't do.
Like, prioritize your life, almost.
Yes,
Like,
of course.
Because those moments will never come back. I remember there's one specific, I'm not gonna cut you off, but like a specific moment where I was in Utah and I was at my girl's first bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
And I was so fixated on making sure that I got everything recorded and it all captured, and like I'm not gonna lie, like I was edgy because like it's her last couple days and like she's she has to do tanning, this, that, and all this other crap, and I've never kind of experienced that because I've always been the one that's doing it myself.
Yeah.
And being like that dude with a girl that's competing, it's a little different. And I was so fixated on everything being recorded till like one moment I was just sitting there with her on stage, and like I finally got to just not look at my phone and like see her posing, and she looked so proud and happy, and like it was her first show. Like it was so exciting for her, and she was like,
moment you both shared.
like she was smiling and like she was so proud. It was just like dope to see that, and like I was so proud for like a good glimpse of a second, which I wasn't having because I was like making sure she can see herself later on when she looks back. But like in that moment, like, and there's moments where people were family taking family photos, and you're just like looking at all your kids there. I know that moment's just like beautiful. You're everyone's all dressed up in pretty like Vineyard Vine shirts, pinked out, and you're just sitting there like, wow, I have a beautiful family.
Yeah.
All right, now take the photo. Like just that 1 second, a lot of people don't take that second, and that's those seconds are embedded in your brain for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with me is avoiding my cell phone while I'm at dinner, or avoiding, you know what I mean? Like at the movies, at dinner, or on a date with someone I'm with. It's just, I try to avoid all distractions because, I don't want to be that person looking at my phone. And again, I'm like, babe, this is work. Hold on. it's me. I should be the bigger person. Be like, nah, like my phone's on silent. This is our time. And that was a big key factor with my dating life, is like putting the social media aside, putting the content aside until it was appropriate time. Because again, you think back at the dinners you went to, the movies and all that, and you're just thinking about, oh yeah, I made that TikTok video. Oh yeah, I posted this video. It's like, nah, man.
There's no
Enjoy the
memories there.
moment. There's not.
There's something. I've been married for 13 years now. I know I don't look like it, but that's one thing. Like my wife and I like always do at dinner is like we don't bring our phones out. No matter if the phone's ringing, you know, unless it's like unless they call 3 times, then obviously we know it's an emergency. But
Yeah.
regardless, like we never do it because when you're at a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Say me and you're at a restaurant, whatever. I'm just looking at my phone the whole time.
Yeah.
We're not talking. What is the point of us being
That's
out
what
at a
I mean.
restaurant right now? And people are, and that's the other thing. People are judging. People are looking and being like, the same thing. Why are they out?
Yeah.
Like, are we that boring that we can't even have a conversation?
Yeah.
Like,
But that's the thing. I remember I was taking someone out for their birthday for breakfast. I was getting their breakfast, and I remember the people next to me were literally just enjoying themselves. There's no cell phones, and me and this person were just looking at our phones, and I'm like, damn it. I talk so much shit on people like this, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like such a weird wake-up call, and I was like, yo, babe, put your phone away. And you have to catch yourself sometimes because you kind of fall into it at times, and you're just like, dude. And another thing is when I'm having family dinners with my little cousins, they have their iPads out. I'm like, guys, put the iPads away. You know what I mean? Like, what'd you do today? You know what I mean? It's just, I only get to see my family every once in a while, and I come over for dinner, and you guys are on your iPads or doing whatever. I said, no, put it away. And I know if I'm ever a parent like that, we're never having electronics at the table. It's just not worth it to me. Or the TV on and you're watching, eating dinner. Nah, we're not doing that, man.
no, we sit at the table and we eat.
Yeah, we're not doing that. But all right, guys. I know you got to get out of here, Danny, and we have another podcast up after this. I appreciate you guys. This is amazing, and I'm trying to make this into a series. So this is obviously episode number 1. We have 9 more to go, guys, and that's going to be.
I'm excited.
We're trying to do this like 2 to 3 Saturdays. Well, out of the month, we're trying to film at least 2 Saturdays out of the month to make this happen. There we go. Time to go. But I appreciate you guys. Danny and Joe's Instagrams will be listed down below in the description. We're going to be putting up a lot of different content, guys. This was an amazing podcast. This was very rewarding to me, and I want to thank you guys because I've been envisioning this for a minute, and I thought exactly how it was going to happen. So thank you guys so much.
Oh, real quick before you go, this is all like on camera too,
Yeah.
right? Can you flex real quick?
Go ahead.
Can we just see like how big these arms are?
Thank God we have a wide angle lens.
Right.
They're little
wide
guys.
angle lens.
Little guys, little.
Oh wait, Lex,
Marine Corps.
can you open up?
Chair force.
Can you open up the
Oh.
that drawer right there?
Oh.
There's a measuring tape in there.
Oh,
Did you
man.
turn? Did you turn it off yet?
No, we're still.
Oh no, we don't need to do all that. No.
We're doing it through
I
Danny.
think
Come
the
on.
camera angle showed that I was my arms were bigger.
Shit, man, I've been doing this a while.
Assist Danny real quick.
Everyone
Yeah,
on
right?
TikTok's like, no, let's measure on. All right.
Let's see what's going on here, guys.
Here we go. Ready? This is official now.
That's an arm. Looks like
Alright,
someone's
looks like
leg.
It's my waist. That's what that is.
Holy fuck! Get the.
Christ.
20 and a half.
Oh, you're small, dude.
My God, that's not.
Oh my God.
That's
Is
just
that
from
a
drinking
lie?
Gatorade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why-
that's
well,
funny.
Electrolytes.
The funny thing is, we need to do it. We're gonna do a podcast one day where we do it before you're pumped and after you're pumped.
That's the biggest thing. Everyone's like, oh, you measure it without a pump. I was like, why don't you measure your arms like more often? I was like, who the fuck measures their arms? Like, that's just a weird thing.
I know, right?
Like, I've never, besides people asking me,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
only reason I've done it. I've never thought like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go home and measure my arms. Like, no,
Yeah.
I've never done. Like, they're like, yes, they're one of the fastest growing parts of my body, but it's never been like, oh yeah, let's measure my arms. And the funny thing is like, I love it because I love SpongeBob. They're like, oh, anchor arms. I'm like, hell
Oh yeah, right. You blow them up.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. You want to be a jerk like me, Larry?
And for the girls, Harry.
That's hilarious, man. All right, guys. Well, this has been amazing. I will see you guys later. We are out.
Peace.
Deuces.